Sifuna. I'm the Senator of Nairobi, your neighbors here. Na pia mimi ni katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM, chama ambacho kilimteua Senator Montet na naibu wa kiranja wa walio wachache ndani ya bunge la Senate. Nasimama hapa kwa niaba ya walio wachache wote. On Tuesday, Your Excellency, we went to condole with our sister at her house in Nyari. And those who were present then know that I had excused myself. Nilikuwa nimewaambia kuwa sitakuwa katika hii hafla. Nilikuwa nimeitwa pamoja na viongozi wengine wa vyama tofauti tofauti katika bara letu la Afrika na kiongozi wa chama cha UNITA ambacho ndio chama kikuu cha upinzani kule Angola kwa ajili ya mkutano kule Luanda. Lakini Your Excellency, tulipofika pale kwenye airport, sisi sote wakiwemo marafiki zetu wa Tanzania, Uganda, viongozi mbalimbali, tulifurushwa kutoka mji wa Luanda. Na ndio maana niko hapa Mheshimiwa Montet. Kuna wengine walikuwa wananikejeli, wanasema nilikuwa nimesema naenda Luanda, kumbe ni hii ya Vihiga ya kina Usuzi. So ya Mungu ni mengi imenipelekea kwamba niweze kujumuika na nyinyi hapa. Mimi nimemjua Senator Betty Montet, mumesikia hadithi ambayo imeelezwa hapa na Chairman SK Masharia. Tumekutana wakati mimi ni katibu mkuu wa chama na yeye ako katika timu ya kampeni ya Mheshimiwa SK. Tumefanya mambo mengi pamoja. Na kutokea wakati huo Senator Montet yeye huniita my son na mimi namuita mama. Na wakati ule alikuwa pale na SK karibu. Kuna wakati ambapo shirika la Citizen wakati wa kampeni ya 2022 walianzisha hizi advertisements za politicians kwa Citizen. Na ndio ujue urafiki ni muhimu. Mimi naweza pewa kitu bure yenye wewe utauziwa. Mimi ndio nilikuwa wa kwanza pamoja na Mheshimiwa Pasaris tukafanya hiyo matangazo na hatukulipa hata shilingi moja. Tulifanya sare. Na ndio kwa maana ukaona kampeni yangu ya 2022 ikakuwa rahisi kushinda pale nyuma. Labda ningekujua 2017 ningekuwa nafanya my second term pale Senate. Nataka niseme asante sana for your support. Asante sana for your friendship on behalf of the entire ODM party. Our national secretariat and my boss is here. We want to say pole sana for the loss of Mzee, and you know you had opened your doors for us here. Tulikuja tukapiga sherehe wakati Wangeshi ilikuwa ni ilikuwa junior wakati alikuwa anapata mke. Na hiyo sherehe ya mess tuliona, hata sisi tunajikazanga tunafika 6 kama hao kama hao marafiki zako ambao wamekuja hapa. So mimi nataka niseme tu pole na nikuhakikishie kwamba tutasimama na wewe pamoja na chama kizima cha ODM. Kuna chairman wa clan yenu hapa ambaye ameni-challenge hapo kama SG wa ODM. Mimi unajua juzi tukifanya hiyo shughuli ya kusign documents pale, nilikuwa najua tukitoka pale kuna watu wataenda kusema kitu ambayo haiko ndani ya hiyo mkataba. Wataenda kusema ni hii na sio hiyo. Wengine ni hawa marafiki zetu waandishi wa habari. Mimi naamka siku moja naona headline hapo ati Sifuna ametoroka rais kwa mikutano yake ya Nairobi. Hakuna mahali kwa hiyo mkataba inasema katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM atakuwa anaenda mikutano na rais. Hakuna mahali inasema huyu senator ambaye amechaguliwa na UDA ati baba akiwa na mikutano yake hapa ati lazima akue hapo. Niliona Mheshimiwa Raila ulikuwa Kiambu kwa mazishi ya Wayaki. Sikuona SG wa UDA hapo. Kwa sababu huo mkataba hauzungumzii haya maneno. Na rais mwenyewe anajua. Nilisikia akiambia watu wa Nairobi kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Mimi sitapitishwa kura kwa sababu ya mikutano ngapi nilihudhuria tukiwa na rais. Kazi yangu ni pale Senate nitafanya, yeye afanye yake. 2027 wananchi wafanye nini? Waamue. Na baba, mimi baada ya kusaini hiyo kitu unajua kazi yangu ni rahisi sana. Mimi nakaa na marking scheme tu. Nakaa na marking scheme. Siku na agenda 10 pale. Iwapo Mkenya mwingine yoyote atachukuliwa na polisi ati abducted afichiwe mahali, chama cha UDA na kiongozi wake William Ruto watakuwa wamekeuka mkataba ambao tumeandikisha. Iwapo polisi wa Kenya hawatawajibika watoe fidia kwa familia za watu ambao walipoteza maisha yao kulingana na jinsi ambavyo huo mkataba unasema, Mheshimiwa William Ruto na chama chake cha UDA watakuwa wamekiuka mkataba wetu. Iwapo kufikia mwaka huu wa fedha kaunti zetu hazitapokea bilioni 450 kulingana na vile tumesikizana UDA na party leader wao watakuwa wamekiuka mkataba na chama cha ODM. Hiyo ndo kazi yangu tu, hakuna kazi nyingine. Tunataka wafuate vile tumesikizana. Kwa hayo mengi, nataka nichukue fursa hii nimkaribishe kiongozi wa walio wengi ndani ya bunge la Senate ambaye pia ni seneta wa Kericho, Mheshimiwa Aaron Cheruiyot, naye atoe rambirambi zake kisha mkaribishe spika. Asante sana, Mungu awabariki.
Asante Senator Sifuna. To our dear mom Betty, together with your family.
Yes, very good afternoon wherever you're tuning. This is Africa 24. Your number one show that happens here every day at 10 p.m. East African time. And of course, we are having this political discussion whereby we're discussing some of the happenings that took place in our country, Kenya. We are having the crisis whereby after Ndindi Nyoro was dropped from the budgetary committee in the parliament, after what is allegedly being circulated as his close relationship with the president has been broken, and that is why he was dropped from that position, and also being one of the most learned member of parliament who was very rich before even getting to the parliament. They are saying that he was directing all the money, he was channeling all the money to the Kiharu constituency, and that is why they are saying that Kiharu is more developed than any other county in this country. Kiharu is more developed than any other county, and that is any other constituency, and that is why they said that he must be accountable of all the money that has been used without consent. And of course, they are saying that he was very, very mean when it comes to distribution of money, and that is why other areas they received none. Other areas received zero. But when you go to Kiharu, then you see how they have developed. But I will always say this is only depends with how your member of parliament pushes for those money, how your member of parliament activates for those money, because you cannot just be given money if you're just in the parliament doing nothing. Of course, we will be having all those here in Africa 24. Join us through the comment section there. Tell us where you're following this great conversation, and of course, you give us your views about what do you think is happening. Do you think that Kenya will be on its position before Vision 2030? Do you believe that Kenya is really captivating for development when it comes to attaining the Vision 2030? Of course, share with us here through the comment section. And of course, we are having a lot of issues. That is where we have seen a lot of members of parliament being questioned. Today is the day when we saw the nominated senator, that is Gloria Orobwa, walking out of the Senate after what she said itself that is of course the apology that he was taught to read by the Speaker of the Senate, that is Amason Kingi. It was so that is it, so like it will hold when it comes to those laws. So the legal people, they have told her that he should not read that apology, because it will one day come to haunt her. That is why she walked out of the parliament, and she said she's proud that she can survive a lot of months without pay, and that is all okay with her. That is Gloria Orobwa when she was having that session in the parliament. She said that she will walk away. She's okay with that, and she can stay with that salary. And I've seen how Kenyans are commenting in the social media about what happened, and they are saying that this is something that is not expected to come out of one of the nominated senators, and she's a leader for the whole country. Africa 24 political discussion. Don't forget that our national team, our national men's team, Harambee Stars, they have departed today very early in the morning to go in Ivory Coast, that is Abidjan, in the streets of Abidjan, whereby they will be playing against the Gambia. After what it was said that the Gambia National Stadium has not been approved by CAF, and that is why they are playing in Ivory Coast, whereby they are the defending champions of Africa Cup of Nations. Those are World Cup qualifiers, and they're happening in Gambia before jetting back on Sunday to battle against Gabon. That is more about current news that we heard today. But Ndindi Nyoro spoke, of course, he had a press, and that is what he said.
Majibu, my brother from K24. Yes. You've asked about Kiharu. I am always available to share our experiences in Kiharu. More than available. I mean, I have had sessions with my colleagues, and I have explained to them basically what we do is optimization, labor-based implementation of projects. It saves us the profit that would have been made by the contractor. It also saves us a lot of cost. It guarantees quality also. And because it's something that needs a lot of time to explain, I am sure I'll give you some time. And yes, ameuliza pia wale wabunge walisema mambo bugeni last week, nitasema nini? Nitasema, uniruhusu niseme kwa kimombo. As I said before, politics is up and downs. And politics is mutually exclusive. Because the things we chase for are the same. So sometimes, for a position to be created, one person has to forgo the years. And therefore, it's always a chase. So, you also have to define yourself as a leader, the things you want to engage in. And respectively, as I say so, if I ask you as my brothers and sisters who are here, I ask you what Kibaki told anyone in the year 2008 when he was president, you'd hardly remember. You'd have to go to your files to check what Kibaki said. But if you travel through or on Thika Road Superhighway, you don't need to remember anything Kibaki said. You see it with your own eyes. So me, I believe that, yes, we have to talk as leaders because you have to explain where you are going, where you've come from. I mean, you cannot lock yourself in a room. You have to talk. But in many instances, I find that what is far-reaching and what is permanent and what is objective is more what you do than what you say. And therefore, in terms of what was said and whoever said it last week in Parliament, I would not be provoked to answer evil with evil, neither will I be provoked to answer an insult with insult. Time answers many things. Time answers so many things. I mean, if I allege, for example, if I come here and allege Kajim here is actually not from Kenya, and I say, no, I have evidence, he's actually not from Kenya. Only time. He may not need to say much. The truth and the facts have a way of outliving words. And I hold no grudge against anyone. It is too burdensome to carry any hatred. It is too heavy to carry any ill will against anyone. I mean, you can only do that to the advantage of the people who calculate to make you wander from your path. Oh, sorry, Aden, and I think I'm taking too long to answer questions. Aden, allow me today, you've asked me to rate the government. You know I've been chairman of budget. Definitely, I am likely to be subjective. In terms of rating of government, allow me not to answer that now because I just left this position.
That is Ndindi Nyoro when he was having press. And of course, he called the press in his home. That is homeland, where he stays, that is where the press was held. And that is what he is saying, that let him not answer that question, because he was asked about the current government and how he can rate about it. And he's saying that he cannot answer evil with evil. So those who are saying that he was just dropped because of politics, he understands politics, and that is why he gave a real example. When you are asked about Mwai Kibaki and what he did, then you will be aware that you will not remember. But when you go along Thika Road, then you will see the kind of development that Kibaki did. That is what he is trying to mean, that let's just act as leaders, work for the people of Kenya. Let's work for the people of Kenya, and that is where we will go far. That is what Ndindi Nyoro is saying, and he is very, very objective when it comes to making a decision.
That I have not had any conversation directly or on phone with any leader of our coalition in regards to the position I used to hold. And I think if you look at it, it answers many things also, which I also don't want to go into. In terms of the relationship with other leaders, I respect everyone. I mean, I'm one of those people who believe there's no person who becomes a leader by just being fetched from wherever. There is always a process they go through. Because I am one, I know. And therefore, in terms of you've asked the relationship between the president and the former deputy president, the position I hold is that I respect every leader. And I could have things I need to talk about. I could have reservations on decisions made. But I don't think it has been within my role to talk about those things, especially in public. The other thing in that question is that maybe for clarity's sake, the last discussion I had with the president of the country, the last political discussion, either a chat or a discussion, as it were, was before October of last year. And I would not want, and you permit me to do that, not to discuss any further about any leader, because as you're all aware, I stopped serving in my position. It's barely a week. I also need to understand many things before I talk, because I believe as a leader, I mean, I lead people. There are people who look up to us as leaders. And therefore, even when you see that I am not answering some questions, it's not because I can't answer them. I believe you have covered me previously, and you know for sure that, respectively, in this world I only fear God. So whatever I need to say, I have no reservation of saying. But also, we are given wisdom to say when to say, how to say it. And I believe we are here in Kenya. We'll keep interacting. If there is more to be said, if there is more to be clarified, we are allowed. Ronnie, he has been to Kiharu, by the way, to cover. Taoja hii ni maji ya dimu kidogo ndio. Yo mkiuliza swali kwa ikuwe sawa. Ronnie, you've been to Kiharu, and I am grateful. And by the way, I want to request anyone who would want to come to Kiharu to look at what we've been doing. We are more than glad to host you. We don't do these things, especially of hosting people, because we want to blow our own trumpet. We do these things because I am convinced that if leaders started competing on the basis of what they are doing, the country would become better wholesomely. If our competition as leaders is deliverables, and we compete about who is doing what in terms of tangibles and development, is a very good discussion that you'd have as MPs, for example, because we hold CDF, and that is the reason why we would be glad even to host you. We have hosted, I think, 4 delegations of my colleagues in Kiharu on benchmarking exercises. We actually don't call them benchmarking. We call them peer-to-peer learning, because they also learn from them. I am not a
Wise leader. Even from the way he is speaking, then you know that he is a wise member of parliament. He's saying that at any point he's not trying to reserve answering question, but he has also wisdom to think first before saying something. What he's trying to push is that he is not having any grudge with any leader, and he respects any leader, whoever, at any point, even if he was from where, even if he was elected from which constituency, he believes that he or she deserves respect. Also quotes that for the last time when they talked with the president was October last year. That is barely 5 months since they talked to the president. And also he said it's not advisable to discuss any leader in this forum. That is why he said that he is trying to think before answering question, because since he dropped his position, then he understands that you all Kenyans that leadership skill. That is why he is quiet.
First of all, I thank you for the confidence in both the Senator of Meru and myself to be able to execute that duty that you have sent on behalf of the House. Indeed, we have had a conversation with members of the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union, and also UHC workers from across the country, Honorable Speaker. They were the guests who are making all that merry outside our gate. And as the Senator for Meru has said, Chair, these are not new matters. It is compliance by the national government and the county governments with a collective bargaining agreement that was signed after that long strike that we had with KMPDU. Apparently, the concerned government agencies are not complying with that. And secondly, Honorable Speaker, they say that even though the counties are deducting the 2.75% share every month, they are not remitting it to the authority. And therefore, even when they fall sick themselves, and there are medical practitioners who are taking care of us, but when they fall sick themselves, SHA is not honoring those claims because the county governments are not remitting the 2.75 that they deduct, which is something that is unacceptable, Honorable Speaker, and it is in the place of this House to ensure that there is compliance by county governments in terms of remittance of all deductions from salaried workers. Honorable Speaker, lastly, of course, there's the issue we have discussed here many times about absorption of the universal health care workers, especially those who are not working in national hospitals. We had that debate here, Honorable Speaker, where a few of their colleagues were absorbed, and now they are on permanent and pensionable basis. But those who are not absorbed, Honorable Speaker, although they have the same roles and they execute the same workload, they are paid almost 3 times less than what their colleagues on permanent and pensionable basis are paid. So our suggestion to them, Honorable Speaker, and they have agreed, and we want to beseech this House so that we deal with this issue with the sort of dignity that it requires. We cannot have our medical practitioners on the streets out there. We have invited them, and I hope that you will agree to this, Honorable Speaker, to a meeting that will happen with the Committee on Health of this House, and we have proposed that we invite the Chair of the Council of Governors or a representative of the Council of Governors, together with the Cabinet Secretary responsible for health, and we will provide the necessary environment for all these issues to be ironed out in a manner that will leave everybody satisfied on the challenges that the government is facing, on the CBA and all these other issues of absorption of UHC workers. And from then on, Honorable Speaker, we can at least see light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm hoping that the Senate adopts that proposal that we have made together with my colleague from Meru, as a way forward for this particular matter. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Speaker and the Senator for Nairobi. Now, Honorable Senators, you know...
Edwin Funa saying that we need to address the issue of doctors. We need to address the issue of doctors staying. Of course, we have seen how doctors, they are complaining. And those are people who went to school for more than 6 years. Now they are complaining to the government that they are not getting their pay. They are complaining to the government that they are getting small amount of money. That is what they are complaining. And that is Sufuna saying, we need to get serious. And also the senators need to understand that these doctors, they are human beings, that they need to get enough pay. And that is why the doctors union is also pressing for payments, the interns to get payments, to get those recruitment permanently. And the confusion between the SHA and NHF has really caused a lot of misunderstandings. Most of Kenya, they don't understand this SHA is, and others are saying that SHA was meant only. Today I heard Senator Onyonga. Senator Onyonga, he said that the SHA is a one-way beneficiary. That is someone who is benefiting from that SHA, and they should also ensure Kenyans they get the best when it comes to this SHA, because Senator Onyonga said that this is just a deal that is benefiting someone but not Kenyans, a deal that is only pressuring Kenyans, but the beneficiary is not a Kenyan. That is what he is saying over there. And of course, a lot of people are questioning. Now, this is Junet Mohammed. Of course, this is what United said when they were trying to discuss about SHA and also the budgetary committee in the parliament.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to add a few things to what the majority leader said. Mr. Speaker, this issue of RMLF has been on this floor now for some time, even since last parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I have come to realize, there is a systematic program going on in this country to disconnect members of this house from the public completely. Mr. Speaker, I don't know where that plan is hatched, Mr. Speaker, whether it is in the executive or in the judiciary or somewhere. Mr. Speaker, there is a serious plan to disconnect members of parliament, especially members of the National Assembly, from the public, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, people tell you that it is not your work to bring development to the people. If I cannot bring development to my people, what is the constitutional requirement of representation? You represent people so that you can speak on their behalf on the floor of the house to get resources to the public, Mr. Speaker, if I understand it well. Mr. Speaker, this is something that this house will not accept. Mr. Speaker, look at what's happening in the counties. We are not against devolution. We completely support devolution, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, we have to analyze since the last 10 or 12 years whether devolution has worked for this country. The only things we see in devolution is conferences every year that shows us beans, ndengu, carrots, cucumber, cassavas grown in our areas, Mr. Speaker. Those things have been happening since independence. My grandmother has been growing cassava since Kenya became independent, Mr. Speaker. That's what you are being shown in devolution conferences. There is nothing serious that has happened in terms of devolution since devolution came into place, Mr. Speaker. Truth must be said. We must be truthful to the people, Mr. Speaker. Sure. Look at the amount of money that has been devolved in this country. Trillions of shillings since devolution came into place. Nothing to show for it. Nothing, completely nothing, Mr. Speaker. Let's be honest to Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, we don't want to describe them as devolved corruption. But people are preoccupied. Mr. Speaker, can we have order here? People are preoccupied with the little money that has been devolved through NGCDF, little money that has been devolved to the constituencies through RMLF, And people don't take note of the billions of shillings that are being devolved every financial year, Mr. Speaker. Counties are getting their money. They are never in arrears. Even if they're in arrears, is 1 month, 2 months, in the end the money goes down to the ground. There are counties that are holding billions of shillings in their central bank accounts. I was reading in the newspaper the other day that there are counties that have not spent 48 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker. They are lying idle in their account. And they are still demanding for more money. They're saying, oh, the national government does not devolve. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, these people who are calling themselves here Nairobi, Kera and Kura, these people must know that these are organs of national government. They are not part of county government. They are oversighted by this house. This Director General of Kera, Mr. Speaker, this man is a joker. I can tell you for truth. He thinks that he is supposed to report to counties. Which governor oversights him? Which county government oversights him? That man must be dragged here to this house under full committee of the full house, Mr. Speaker. And he must be told in no certain terms that he is supposed to report and to the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker. This is a man who thinks that he is supposed to work with county government. Which county government is giving him money? Mr. Speaker, you can go around to every constituency today, and we'll take you around as a speaker. The roads that are maintained by constituency development, by this RMF through the constituency, are known. In every constituency, they're not even more than 4 or 5. Majority of the roads are classified as county roads, and they're in pathetic condition, all of them. And they're asking for the RLMF for the constituency. The ones for the constituency are well maintained. Actually, the national government is trying its best to even tarmac majority of the county roads. Mr. Speaker, we cannot take this thing anymore lying down. We will put our foot down. We are tired of these shenanigans of counties and judiciary all the time saying CDF is unconstitutional, and these people are enjoying their monies. They are not delivering any services to the public, and the people who are supposed to do that work are being curtailed, Mr. Speaker. This matter must come to an end, and we are going to pass, as the majority leader said, the county revenue allocation, the extra money we are giving them through the bill that has been brought here, without RLMF. If they don't want money, the bill will get stuck here for good. You can continue with the one that you have been given at the beginning of the year. And I want to tell the Council of Governors, please, don't joke with members of Parliament. They have been elected just like the way you have been elected. You have votes. We got votes the same way you got votes. Some of you, we just go through waves. You know, there are people who are saying, when the new constitution was being formulated, governors should have been appointed job. There are people who are saying that. Yes. We can amend the constitution. Yes. If need be. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, we are saying, let us respect everyone's work as enshrined in the constitution and in the laws, Mr. Speaker, and we must make sure that we are not supposed to be made like we are not supposed to bring any development to our constituency. A governor told me, Mr. Speaker, he told me on my face that, you know, your work is representation and oversight. You are just to go and make noise in Parliament. That is all. That's your work. You don't have any other work. I told him, my friend, when we are going to do the division of revenue bill, we will give you very little money if you talk like that. That's when you'll realize what power has the constitution given to the National Assembly. So, Mr. Speaker, we support devolution, but the county, what is this thing called? The Council of Governors. This amorphous thing first. It's not in the constitution. I don't know, it's in the County Government Act or something, Mr. Speaker, which we can repeal even that one. They must respect members of Parliament henceforth. And that is not anything we are begging for. Mr. Speaker, it's an order. And we will stand firm to make sure that our constituency gets development as required by law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Your leaders have spoken. Can we end there and go to some other business? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Big roar. That is a big roar from the Suna a member of parliament. That is Suna East member of parliament. That is Junet Mohammed when he was trying to point out the kind of development that have been there since devolution took place. And he is saying that the evolution has been one of the key areas where corruption has been intensely identified. And that is where he's saying that some of the leaders, they should be accountable of what they have done in their counties and also in their respective areas, because corruption has been rampant. Resources have been vandalized and money has lost in between the counties. And that is what he is calling out for leaders who are doing that. Of course, the county government who have been doing that to stop and also to make sure that development are in place. That is what is happening. Of course, there's some of the allegation that some members of parliament, some of the Senate members, they want to impeach top cabinet secretaries in the William Ruto cabinet. That is what they are doing. Some of the top cabinet secretary, they want to be impeached. And of course, the cabinet secretary for Health, that is Deborah Mulongo Baraza, he has been one of the key areas after Nakumicha. Of course, Nakumicha, since she was dropped from the cabinet, she has been quiet. But you know, those are sensitive ministries that we have in the country. Ministry of Health is very sensitive and very, very sensitive. So at any point we have those allegations, then they are going to fall into one of the leaders.
Government BBI that was there, it will go the way that government went. So we cannot afford a situation whereby we want to amend the constitution so as either to massage the egos of the proponents of the government or to reward the beneficiaries of the broad-based government. Mr. Speaker, we are all men and women of this republic, and we hear both the normal talk and the talk in the grapevine, and these days, the talk on social media, which is part of our lives. I don't like what I'm hearing, Mr. Speaker. What I'm starting to hear at those three levels is as if somebody wants to fix another person, somebody wants to fix a particular party and not the other one, somebody wants to fix a particular region at the expense of another one, and somebody even wants to fix a community. If that is the spirit of broad-based government, it would be wrong. We should never punish anybody. I hear repeatedly, oh, Kashagwa ho, oh, Rigiji ho. The story of Rigiji is gone. Rigiji was given an opportunity in this house to face me, to face Omogeni, to face all of us, and he chickened out. So that is a story which is gone. Let all politicians, especially from Mount Kenya, enjoy equal opportunity in the broad-based government. Mr. Speaker, when we were constituting the new look committees, unknown to this House, Mr. Speaker, I failed to discharge my role as a chief whip, who under our standing orders is supposed to take the lead in reconstituting committees. Because as a man who joined the struggle at an early age of 22 years at the University of Nairobi, I find it difficult to be part of an exercise that was meant to be exclusive rather than inclusive. This is the way to go. Today you're on top, tomorrow you are not. Today you are on the strong side of the wind, tomorrow you are not. We want to build a country that gives all Kenyans equal opportunity. I see, for example, Mr. Speaker, some noise building around certain members of parliament, and not members of parliament, members of the cabinet, that probably X, Y, or Z might be removed so as to pave way for the new look broad-based government. I want to send an early warning. This will be wrong. Whoever is starting to raise issues on Dr. Deborah Mulongo Barasa, if you think that is the way to fix the broad-based government, you should know that also Mulongo, who did not, by the way, apply for that job, she was very busy in her medical practice. She also comes from a community, and that community has heavy fighters, and sometimes we throw very heavy punches, up to and including Dr. Boni Khalwal. Nobody should intimidate Dr. Mulongo. Mr. Speaker, the issue of IEBC in this report, we should expedite the process because, Mr. Speaker, the other day we lost our colleague from Baringo. The people of Baringo need, that delegation needs a senator here. Mr. Speaker, 4 members of parliament have lost their lives.
When he was trying to defend the cabinet secretary for Ministry of Health, Deborah Mulongo Baraza, he's saying that they should stop that because Deborah also has loyal followers, and of course the region of the western region is proud of her, and they should not apply for the job. So they should ensure the broad-based government is equal and giving all opportunities to Kenya. And it's trying to slam the government for what they're doing. That is, when it comes to this resources allocation, Mount Kenya should also be included. This is Sabina Chege.
For the chairs to take the committee work very seriously. A lot of work is done at the committee. And sometimes, Mr. Speaker, what comes here on the floor, sometimes members vote even without understanding the concept or the content. So it's upon the chairs and vice chairs to make sure that when a subject comes in, and especially I want just to quote what my colleague was saying about the finance bill. I think last time there was a lot of politics that played in between. And Mr. Speaker, out of this house, then Kenyans really took offense with the finance bill. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, as now we have come to the second half of the term of our tenure, that will be objective, Mr. Speaker, that we are going to make sure that we communicate well to the public. This is a position that also comes with a lot of responsibility. We saw our colleagues, and I just want to say, sorry to the chair of finance, whose even house had to be banned for a responsibility that he took as being a chair of the finance committee. So sometimes you'll have to take huge responsibilities. And I also want to urge them, when the government officials comes in, whether it's PSs or CSs, let us not be cause with them. Let us push them because our role is oversight. Once we allocate finances to them, let us also make sure that we follow up on how they are using these finances. We have some PSs who allocate finances as they wish. Mr. Speaker, it is good that we play our oversight role very well so that we make sure this government is about broad-based. At the committee level, that's where we are able to allocate the finances to the projects that Mwananchi, the person on the ground, will feel that the government is concerned. And that is maybe what Honorable was saying about serving Kenyans. We are all serving Kenyans. Congratulations to the new team. Put your best foot forward because we are on half-term now. We need to redeem. And Mr. Speaker, just as I finish, let us also not cast aspersions or accuse our own colleagues, because what happens to your colleague today, it can happen to you tomorrow. We know chairs are their positions. I have been a chair, Mr. Speaker, and I've said that. A lot of these colleagues will approach you and come and tell you, help us on this, or call so and so on my behalf. So when the chairs offer themselves, and I am very sure, and unfortunately, allow me, because I come from Murang'a County, to speak about Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who was the chair of Budget Committee. He assisted very many members here. But when his time came, The same members, Mr. Speaker, were there casting aspersions and trying to show like Ndindi was favoring himself. Please let's remember the small deeds that our colleagues help us to do. And they are all because they are that privileged position. And let us not accuse each other because you never know. I want to personally congratulate Honorable Nikal. I served with him at the Health Committee. He has gone through all the ranks in the health ministry. And I'm very sure, Honorable Nikal, even as I move my bill, my motion, that you'll be of good help to give insights that we have very, very, very good public hospitals. You know, at our tenure in the Health Committee, we have a fantastic facility called Kenyatta University Referral Hospital that is better, Mr. Speaker, than any other private facility in East and Central Africa. But even majority of my colleagues don't know about it, Mr. Speaker. It is a state-of-art facility with more than 300 bed capacity, which has a capacity of 600 bed capacity. And that facility, Mr. Speaker, we do not even need to use any private facility. We can go to KU, give back the money to the public, where we can be able to have enhanced medical care. So, Mr. Speaker, as I congratulate my colleagues, remember it as a responsibility. Let us not babysit these PSAs and CSAs. Let us push them so that we can be able to push and work for Kenyans for the rest of remaining few months. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Kimani.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and as we congratulate the new chairs, it's also congratulate you, Mr. Speaker. As the chairperson of the Parliamentary Service Commission, we've seen a great change in the running of the affairs of this Parliament. We have seen a lot of change even in the environment.
Sabina Chege, when she was trying to say, whoever is pushing for some of the leaders to be eliminated in their positions, whoever is trying to pull the Kikuyu community out of the government, then that is not what the broad-based government is focused on. Kenyans are equal, and Ndindi Nyoro helped a lot of people. So whoever is cornering Ndindi Nyoro, then he should be ashamed of what he is doing. That is what he is doing. She is saying. Now, Mother Karua, she slammed the government, of course. She is one of the official opposition party after she branded a political part.
That via a cabinet memo in 2000, 4th of May, 2005. That was the Kibaki era. Yes. This land was given to the retirees. Why? Because one of our state corporations, Kenya Railways, had mismanaged itself to the extent of not being able to pay their pensions. That's right. So they paid them in kind via this land. So this land, although the title didn't change, the beneficial owners are the retirees. It's not available to the government of Kenya or to any land grabber to lay hands on because it has owners who are the retirees. This land has already been sold following the steps that should be taken in any legal sale. They have been paid 320 million out of the 400. Only 80 million is pending. And I believe it was sold to a Kenyan. They will be able to say that. Now, I want you to know, the last statement my brother...
Na ndio sababu hiyo tukaamua vile vile kwamba tuunganishe taifa letu la Kenya, ndio mambo ya maendeleo yaendelee kwa kasi zaidi. In order to enhance the momentum of the development of our country, it is necessary that we harness the unity of our nation, the talents available, the energies available, the political goodwill available for us to increase the momentum of the development of our country. Competition is good because it gives us winners and losers. Unity is better because it creates a win-win formula for everybody. It creates winners without losers. Nobody loses in unity. Everybody wins. And that is why Waswahili wakasema umoja ni nguvu. Because in unity, there are no losers. In unity, we have winners and winners and winners. And that is why we decided, and I want to encourage us as a nation to think about not what is in it for politicians and leaders, but what is in it for the people of Kenya. Not to think about the interest of a political party or a political side or one region, but the interest of the collective population of a nation called Kenya. That is what is important, and that is what our focus is. So mimi nashukuru sana viongozi wote waliokubali tuungane, na nimesema na nitarudia, tunaunganisha taifa letu la Kenya sio kwa sababu ya kugawana vyeo ama kupanga ushindi wa siasa. Tunaungana na tunaunganisha Kenya kwa sababu ya kupanga vile transformation ya taifa letu la Kenya itaendelea kwa kasi, ndio services ifikie wananchi wengi zaidi, kilimo itembee kwa haraka zaidi, uchumi iimarike zaidi, mambo ya rollout ya universal health coverage, housing program na program zile zingine zote zitembee kwa kasi, kwa manufaa sio ya viongozi, manufaa ya wananchi milioni 50 wa taifa letu la Kenya. That is the reason why this unity, the reason why we are coming together is important. Na mimi nataka niwaulize wote ambao wanasikiza mwito huu. Let us unite, let us work together, and let us focus on the interest of a nation called Kenya. Wengi, if every leader is focusing on their interest, who focuses on the interests of the people? Who focuses on the interests of the nation? That is important for us to think about. Kwa hivyo, mimi nawauliza sisi wote, tushirikiane, tufanye kazi pamoja, na I want to assure all Kenyans that nobody, no region, no community, no section of Kenya will be left behind. Sote tutatembea kwa pamoja, na Mungu atatujalia tufanye hivyo. Vile mmoja wetu hapa amesema, Mathayo 5:9 inasema, heri wapatanishi, wale wanaoleta watu pamoja, kwa sababu wataitwa wana wa Mungu. That is the focus of our drive towards unity. Mwisho kabisa,
That is President William Ruto when he was addressing this nation. Of course, you see, he is more focused when it comes to uniting the country. He has the best plan for uniting this country, making this country moves ahead. It's one of the most developed countries, and he has the best method of changing this country. He is calling for unity for Kenyans to ensure Kenya moves ahead, because without of regions, which will later lead to ethnicity, and Kenya is one. That is what the president is saying. But the impeached deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, has been slamming the government for a long time. He has been calling for government to work, because he has the calendar of the government, how it has been performing, how it has been working for the people of Kenya. And the other day, he called the government for selling the bombers of Kenya.
Number 2, mambo ya abductions, watu ya Kitengela waliumia sana. And you know, Reverend ulisema mambo ya watu keugeu. Huyu rais alitugeuka. Na nikumwambia tu, rais, wewe ulisema ni Mkristo. watoto wadogo wanatekwa nyara na kuuawa na serikali yako. This is wrong. How can you profess to be a Christian, to be born again, yet the government that you lead is abducting and killing our children? Hata serikali ya mkoloni ambayo ilikuwa ni ya unyama na ukatili haikuteka watoto nyara na haikuua watoto. So hapo mimi ndio tulianza kupitania na rais. Na nikamwambia, these are our children. These are our sons and daughters. You are calling them criminals. They are not criminals. Ile tu wanataka ni haki ya Wakenya. Na kwa sababu wewe umemeza upinzani, nature abhors vacuum. Wamejitokeza kutetea Wakenya. I had a big problem with President William Ruto over abductions and extrajudicial killings. And if there is one reason, William Ruto, that will make the people of Kenya punish you, and the church is abducting and killing our children, they'll punish you. That one you cannot escape. Hata ukiungana na nani, hata ukitaja mabarabara ambayo iko, hii dhambi ya kuteka watoto nyara na kuwaua. Mimi najua tunaambiwa tukue watu ya kusameheana. Biblia inatuambia we forgive many times. But Reverend, I'm having a problem myself. Forgiving somebody who is abducting and killing our children, I have a big problem. Labda utaniombea roho yangu itulie. Because that is very painful. Because these are young children who are innocent. Na hao watoto ni kusema tu wamesema Kenya haitembei vizuri, ama iko makosa mengine wamefanya. So that one we have a problem. Again, maneno ya corruption. Nimwambia rais, tuliahidi watu tutawafanyia kazi, serikali imekuwa ni wizi tupu. Today as we speak, Bomas of Kenya imeuziwa Mturuki. Bomas of Kenya imeenda. Ililetwa pale cabinet nikapinga peke yangu. Watu wengine yote hapo ni waoga. Wakiona rais wanatetemeka namna hii. Mimi peke yake ndio nilisimama cabinet nikasema Bomas of Kenya is a national heritage and we cannot sell it. Imeuziwa Mturuki ambaye ni business partner ya mtu mkubwa sana katika hii serikali. Mnamjua. Hiyo Bomas imeenda. Na tena pale watu ya civil aviation walipinga. Wakasema the flight path to Wilson Airport ni hapo. Hiyo ndio flight path. It will be dangerous. Rais akafanya. Nilipokuwa mkali akawachana naye. Aliponifukuza sasa hakuna mtu ya kusema kitu. Watu pale yote ni flower girls. Umeona headline? Ni watu ya yes. Wanaitwa watu ya yes. Sasa pale we are on our own, Reverend, as a country. William Ruto will do whatever he wants in this country. There is not a single person. I was the only remaining person. Ni Mungu peke yake atatusaidia. Hiyo boma sasa ameenda pale amebulldoze imepita. Mashamba yote ya jela yote imeuzwa. Jela zote zinatakiwa sihamishwe, hiyo mashamba imeuzwa yote. Mpaka makanisa ya Catholic, SDA ile iko ndani ya jela yote itabomolewa. Mpaka atali they will be demolished. Yote imeuzwa. Sasa amemeza upinzani. Wabunge wetu wote wamepewa pesa. Vichwa imeharibika, kuna mtu anaweza ongea. William Ruto will do whatever he wants for 2 years. But the good thing is only for 2. Mnamsijali.
Viongozi wa Kenya wote, jameni, tuungane, tushirikiane. Ya muhimu sio uchaguzi wa 2027. Ya umuhimu sasa ni mpango ya transformation ya Kenya. Barabara tutakazojenga, maji tutakayofikisha kwa manyumba ya wananchi, stima tutakayofikisha kwa nyumba ya wananchi. Hawa vijana tuwapange na ajira, na wale wengine wote tuhakikishe ya kwamba tuna madawa katika mahospitali yetu. Na ndio mimi nataka niwaulize viongozi, let us unite so that we can have a plan and we can prosecute the agenda for the transformation of our nation. Matters 2027 will come and the people of Kenya will decide. For now, we must focus on making sure that we deliver on the commitments that we made. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that this administration, under my leadership, is going to focus on the transformation of Kenya, making sure that our teachers are in school, our children are being taught, our farmers have the support they need. We build roads, we connect electricity, we connect water, transform our nation. That is what is important for every Kenyan, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of the region they come from, irrespective of the religion they profess, irrespective of any other consideration. And that is why we must work together as leaders and as a nation. Na mimi nataka niwatahadharishe, upande ule mwingine ni watu hawana mpango, hawana sera, hawana ideas, hawana chochote. Ati mpango yao yote ni vile watagawanya Wakenya. Kama hawasemi mambo ya ukabila, wanasema mambo ya sijui dini. Kama hawasemi mambo ya dini, wanasema sijui nani wa kutoka mulima, nani wa kutoka bonde, nani wa kutoka bara, nani wa kutoka ziwa, nani wa kutoka wapi. Kama hawafanyi hiyo, wanasema nani yako na kazi, nani hana kazi. Nani yako na payslip, nani hana payslip. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa jamaa, if you want a semblance of a competition, look for an agenda. Leave division. Division will not get you anywhere. And the people of Kenya are
Leave division will not take you anywhere. That is the president, of course, slamming the haters, saying that haters, you have a lot of work to do, because he is focused on transforming this country. He is focused on making sure that this country will move ahead and Kenya will go to the next step. Of course, that is the president when he was speaking. And also, he is trying to tell Kenyans that they should be patient. And of course, 5 years, Kenyans are still patient. Remember, this is the Freak 24 political discussion, and we appreciate you. Keep following, subscribing to our Freak 24 YouTube channel. Keep subscribing and keep engaging to our news. Share, like, and comment, because our Freak 24 is your #1 channel. Every day, make sure you stop at a Freak 24.